Hello, my beautiful friends, and welcome back to our new fight study. This fight study I'm choosing on Duran, and the reason is, well, you already know the reason. I'm making videos or lessons on how to fight like certain fighters, and I thought I would start this thing or this type of lesson with Duran because he's my all-time favorite fighter, or one of the top three in my book. Before we start the video, I'm going to explain why I chose this fight. Now, Duran is a fighter that had a 5-decade career. He fought from the late 60s to the early 2000s. So there's a lot of different parts of his career that you could take and study. I've studied almost every part of his career from his younger days all the way up to his older days. Now, the reason I chose this fight is because this fight is the definition of Duran, if that makes sense, against Leonard. The first one, his aggressiveness and all of that, all in one, his speed and power and all together. Now, before I get into the actual fight, I just want to give a couple things that I'm going to be looking at. First of all, this is a video to kind of refresh my memory before I make my other video of him. Now, the first things first is Duran's coach or trainer or teacher, Ray Arcel, one of the greatest boxing brains ever. He worked with Duran, and I believe he was a big part of his career. Now, what makes Duran special? First of all, this is going to sound racist, but his chin. I know Duran is half Panamanian. His father's Mexican. I believe that's why he had a good chin, because he had a Mexican dad. Sorry, might be racist, but that's my thought process on that. Second of all, ring IQ. Okay, he knew how to think in the ring. He knew how to think like a boxer and like an attacker. 3, viciousness. Even though I think he was probably a nice guy outside the ring, when he got in the ring, he just looked vicious, and he was really vicious. Someone that Mike Tyson said is vicious. So if Mike Tyson says you're vicious, you're pretty vicious in the ring. You could see the look on his face. His defensive ability. Okay, he wasn't just some guy that knew how to attack. He was very defensively aware and knew how to roll with punches. As good of a boxer as he was an attacker. Actually, I would make him a better attacker than a boxer, but I think his boxing level is very high. A fighter that moved up in many weight classes, and a fighter that was able to match a lot of different eras and just give a lot of different styles problems. When I look at a fighter's style, I look at what style gives the most styles problems, and that one is going to be Duran, even though he had a hard time with Hearns, but he moved up for that one. So that's why I have him rated so high, is because his resume is stacked. He fought in such a long time frame. He fought so many different styles. All-arounder, right? Not just good at one thing, all-arounder. We're going to watch this fight. Now, I know Leonard is in this fight, but I'm trying not to focus on him. My eyes are only on Duran and seeing what Duran does, so forgive me if I don't talk about Leonard that much. I'm going to try to stay away from the small things that I usually talk about in fight studies. I'm just trying to refresh my mind and point to you guys the big things of his style, what makes up his style, and yeah. Now, the first part about his style is that, okay, his ability to just attack. Now, attacking not with conventional footwork. Let's watch right here. Pivot. And it gets that body shot. You see how he forced that? You know how hard it is to land a body shot on a guy like Leonard, with a guy that has legs like Leonard, in the first seconds of the first round. You really got to go after him hard and quick to land that one body shot that he landed at the end. Now, I'm not talking about the body shot itself or the main point, but I'm talking about his aggressiveness. Watch how he just runs in, basically, but still smartly, behind a jab, gets the angle and goes to the body. That was one of his main things. Duran was a hunter. So if you think of a lion chasing down their prey, that was Duran. A lot of fighters have trouble moving forward and attacking. That was not Duran's problem, especially in his younger days. He knew how to attack, and that's what made him very scary. So that's his first thing. He did move his left hand around a lot, up and down, and he kept his right hand fairly close to his face. He didn't fight in a Philly shell. You could see his hands are up, but he did drop his lead hand, especially in his later career. but right now he has it up a little bit, but the right hand is more close to the face. He's a pressure fighter that knew how to use his jab, and you see that feint, those feints and those stutter steps right there. That was another thing of his, is he's feinting there. Watch his Sugar Ray Leonard. If you watch him versus Carlos Palomino, you'll see some of the best feints in boxing history. Feinting in another body shot. Again, I'm watching for the things that make him Duran. What does he do in the ring that makes him who he is? I'm not looking at the small stuff in this fight of the stuff I usually look at, like I said. So expect after this video to come is a video of how to fight like Duran. Talked about the feints a second ago. So a lot of boxers get lost in being perfect with their feet, perfect with their movement, and they lack the pressure of they have lack of pressure, or they lack the ability to apply pressure because they're trying to do it the right way, air quotes. Duran is a guy that he did do things the right way, but you see how vicious, like how much of a hurry he looks like when he's about to attack, even though he's feinting right here. And you see him take that step to the right when he saw Leonard step to the left. Let's watch him again. There's a hurry in his eyes and his body language, like, I gotta get you right now. Boom, boom. And he attacks. Goes to the body. Leonard gets off the ropes. Right hand right there, lead right hand. That's another punch he threw a lot, which is the lead right. And he often circled with his head downward, so boom. And then he would circle down. Here he throws a jab after. He respected his opponent's feints. Very smart fighter all around. He's a very smart fighter that could take your head off, basically. That's another one of his punches, is slipping on the inside. Coming up with that left uppercut, that left jab. If you watched my video on John Conte, the breakdown, you would see him throw this one. Boom. And there is again. Look at the aggressiveness in his body language. So he goes for the jab, I believe, or feint. Feints the right hand. Goes to the body. Two feints to land the one body shot. You don't really see too many fighters throw feints with this kind of aggressiveness and hurriness in their body language, especially two in a row. Usually it's one and go. Here he's going to feint the jab, feint the right, just to get in with that left to the body. That's how much he loved the body. There's police sirens in the background. He knew how to slip and roll with punches. And you see how he doesn't attack very stupidly? He attacks and he kind of gauges where, like, he'll feint a couple and then he'll actually attack. Like, let's see right here. Fakes, steps out. Now Leonard steps to the left. Feint, feint. Right hand misses, but then he closes the distance. So he does this usually with the right hand. After he throws the right hand, he steps forward with the right foot. You could see him step forward, kind of square up, and then he glues himself to his opponent. He just cut the distance right there. That's another way he cut the distance. Leonard holding on right here. I'll see if he throws his other types of punches in this fight too. Look at that ferociousness, yeah. I'm not sure if he's going to... I want to see him throw body shots. I forgot if he throw them, because that's something I want to talk about in the video I make about him, is his body shots. And the reason I also picked this fight, because it was not an easy fight. This is Prime versus Prime, so he's going to get hit here too. I want to talk about how he reacts to the speed of Leonard and what he does. Let's see right here what he does. Gets under that right hand. Like I said, his defensive ability was just great. You'll very rarely see someone as vicious as Duran and defensively aware or the opposite. It's usually when a fighter has either or, but not both. There's very few fighters that have both. And this is what I said about him keeping his right hand up and keeping that left hand a little bit lower, and he feints with it and attacks with it. It lets him set up that lead right hand and also that lead left hook, where he also steps in with that right hand after sometimes. That was it for round one. Angelo Dundee in the corner. I'm just going to take a sip of water, then I'll skip past this part, or I guess here we go. Always feinting and jabbing, especially in the beginning of the round. Now he has a very good, a great fighter in front of him, so he's going to look a little bit different than maybe in his other fights. But that's why I want to do this fight, because it's going to bring the best out of him. And you see how many times he's feinting and feinting just to get that attack. Now we've seen him mostly attack in these first two rounds. Let's see how many feints he does. Boom, boom, and goes to the body. Let's watch this in full speed. I feel like it'll make more sense. He looks like he feinted that right hand just to get to the body. So I feel like what he's trying to do is feint that right hand to get Leonard to move to the right, or to slip or dip to the right so he could land his body shots. And then he's stepping in with those lefts, like throwing the right hand, stepping in with the right foot to set up his body shots with the left hand. Seems to be his game plan right now, to kind of get Leonard to kind of stop from moving, because Leonard had the best right there. Very good footwork. You're going to see it right here, the lead right hand with the step through. Boom. Now he's going for a hug, but he's just trying to close the distance right there. Another thing he did, even when he fought taller opponents here, Leonard is almost the same height, a little bit taller. Duran didn't really get too low. He would bend at his back a lot, but his legs were fairly straight. They are bent, but not really. His upper body, he fights more upright. So that's, as a shorter fighter, you don't want to do that. But when you have Duran's timing and what's that word? Preparedness to roll with the punches, he can do that. So you could keep one hand up, drop the left hand. But you see how he walks in kind of more straight up, even though he's supposed to be like the smaller guy. He fights like a taller guy almost at times. I'm just trying to build the mental image of Duran in my head, so when I explain it to you guys in the lesson, I could have a clear image. There's another feint. A lot of feints. Jabs, right hands while stepping through, and then the left to the body. And like I said, he's defensively aware. A lot of pressure fighters, they don't mind getting hit. Duran definitely thought about that. Let's see right here what he does. Boom. Now, like I said in the first round or the second round, he's throwing the right hand. What I saw him do is throw the right hand to get Leonard to go this way, and then he would go to the body, but here he switches it up with the left upstairs to the chin. Wobbly leg, Leonard. So we saw him throw that right hand, step through with it, and then go with the body shot, but now he mixed it up and threw the right hand and then came up to the chin with the left hand. There's the uppercut. That's something that you got to learn to do, is fight your way out of the clinch. Now Leonard is hurt. He's holding on. Duran is fighting his way out and lands an uppercut, forces himself out of the clinch. Now this is something with attackers. So if you want to learn how to attack, how to pressure, you got to watch the best at it. Duran, one of the top all-time pressure fighters and attackers. I like to call him more of an attacker than a pressure fighter, because a pressure fighter in my books is someone that keeps applying pressure to you throughout the fight, and sometimes it's a slow pressure kind of. It's like a small fire that keeps burning but keeps burning you. Duran is like a flamethrower, if that makes sense. He attacks really aggressively, and that's what I liked about him. Is watch this right here. Right, that's an attack that's not slow pressure where he's constantly trying to put you in the corner. He's forcing you to do things, and he's one of the best. And let's see what he does. I'm trying to point out his lead hand right here. Watch how many jabs he throws while he's moving in. 1, 2. Right here, you'll see it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 6 jabs, I think 8 if you count the first 2, just to land those 2 uppercuts at the end, right? So you can't just walk in and chase your opponent. Duran is using his lead hand, fake, fake, fake. While he's faking, he's stepping, stepping, stepping until Leonard is on the ropes. Watch. Here. And then he catches him with those uppercuts, then he goes with the hook, and now he has him on the ropes. Okay, so one of the best attackers of all time, and he moves in behind his jab and pumps it. Now, the other thing about Duran is his inside fighting was great. One of the best ever. Just amazing inside fighting. We'll see if they get on the inside a lot in this fight. This fight might not cover everything because Leonard isn't just going to stand there. So I might have to watch another fight of his before I make the video. And there's what sorry, making myself for stuttering. This is what I said about him rolling with punches. Duran, watch this. What happened? Why isn't it moving? Rolled with that one. So like I said, his anticipation, that's the word I was looking for. Catches that jab or kind of parries it, rolls with the right hand. Now what I've seen him do is when he comes back from this, is you see that right hand that's going straight to the stomach. Not straight, but an uppercut to the stomach. He doesn't do it here, he just gets away from the right hand. He thinks the left hook is coming, so he rolls the other way too. Vicious on the inside, even when Leonard is trying to hold him. And that's the other way, like I said, already pointing this out, is how he glues himself to Leonard is by throwing that lead right hand. Now, more and more box fights I've been watching, especially I was watching James Toney, and funny enough, versus a guy named Duran Williams, but James Toney did this too. After you throw the right hand, or after they throw the right hand, or while they throw the right hand, they step with that right foot and put their right shoulder against their opponent and just glue themselves to their opponent and really close the distance. There's Leonard trying to shoe shine, but Duran he's not having any of that today. And you see how he squares up with that right hand? Let's see, he's squared right here. He's going to step back into his boxing stance, throw the right hand again, square up. A lot of wrestling on the inside. I think mostly initiated by Leonard. I mean, you would have to, especially against a guy like Duran. One more sip of water won't hurt. Let's watch that again. Okay, that attack, he didn't get any punches on the inside, but look how many things he does just to get that attack. And like I said, this is against Leonard. He was all-time great, so Duran's really fighting at the top level here, or his top ability right here. Look how many feints he throws. 1. Fake the hook. Fake, fake. Watching Leonard, how he reacts to those feints. Feint, 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 step in, gets ties Leonard up. But you see how much he has to work just to attack. Now, he has, like I said, when Leonard got hit by Duran, he said he felt like he got hit by like 2 other guys in the ring, or he asked himself how many people are in the ring. But Duran has that power in his hands, but he's still doing all the things that you need to do before you attack, which is the feinting and the aggressive body language and watching your opponent where they move and then actually attacking, like right there. So a lot of feints in his style. That's going to be one of my main talking points. On the inside, he was really good at working his right hand in between his opponent's gloves and kind of getting them, prying them open, and then landing that left hand, doing the same thing with his left hand. Here, Leonard has his right hand under his glove, but he fights his way out of it. Right uppercut on the inside. Digging the body with the hooks. And you see, even when he has one hand tied up, he works with the other hand. Let's watch his inside fighting here. Okay, so they're tied up right here. Okay, they're going to break apart. Matches Leonard with the hook while Leonard goes with the uppercut. Dips down from that. Body shot. Body right. Just punches from all angles, working the body and the uppercuts. See that right uppercut just digging through. I got to give credit for Leonard for standing in with a guy like Duran. And look at those just vicious body shots and uppercuts. Right uppercuts, lefts to the body and the head. Couple right hands, straight short ones, but mostly uppercuts and left hooks to the body and head. Another left uppercut to the body. He's very calm on the inside. He's taking his time. Even though he's being vicious, he's taking his time. He squares up a lot, especially on the inside. Duran, I guess, to use both his hands as equally. And this is what I said about his footwork. He might not have the dancing footwork, but look at that. He's going to step. So he turns southpaw right here. So look, he's orthodox right here. Through the hook. Leonard kind of tries to escape out this way. And I pointed this out in Julio Cesar Chavez videos too. He turns square, but he's also southpaw right now because he just moved over to the right through the jab. Comes back with the left hand, misses. And look what he does. After the miss, he doesn't just stop. He turns and he catches him with that left, with that right. Let's watch that on full speed. Watch how he turns into a southpaw. Right here, boom. Leonard gets out the other way, goes back orthodox and catches him. Just on you and ready to move with you. And okay, there we go. That's the first one. Now Leonard just landed a nice punch, but I'm going to talk about Duran. This is one of my favorite punches of his. It's called rolling and punching, or at least that's what I know it's called. It's you roll and you punch. Okay, not sure if that landed, but if you know Duran, you know that this is one of his go-to moves, is roll under and punch. And I've tried this one time or a couple times of sparring. One time I stopped my sparring partner with this one, but with the right hand. So Duran here, he sees the big left hook come and roll, bang. He also does that with the right hand under. When his opponent throws the right hand, he rolls under and throws the right hand to the body. We'll see it here if Leonard starts throwing some right hands. Leonard trying to get some space to breathe. See, he steps back at times. He's a pressure fighter and attacker, but knows when to step back. Nice body shot by Leonard too, but let's watch what Duran does again. Like I said, with his lead hand, he's not just moving in kind of recklessly. He looks like it, but it's pretty calculated. He's sticking out his jab. He's going to move in behind that jab again. Move in, move in, move in. Boom, to get Leonard to stop and throw that uppercut, right? So if you're in sparring and you're disappointed after you miss a couple shots, watch how many times Duran has to feint and step in before he gets Leonard to finally freeze. And you know this is at the top level because Leonard, like I said, one of top 3 best footwork of all time, usage-wise or practicality-wise, because he didn't just have footwork for no reason. He used it all in the right way. He could dance, he could step in with power, he could do everything. But look how much Duran is having to do just to make him stop, feinting while he's stepping forward, feinting that hook with the body shot. Now Leonard is going to throw a nice uppercut to the body right there, respond to him. I think that was a good left hook by Leonard right there. Let's see. I said I wouldn't talk about Leonard that much, but I think he landed a good left hook right there. Ray Arcel right there in the left corner, working the body. Leonard trying to steal the round, of course, like he usually does. Let's see if he steals this round with his shoe shining. And just Duran keeping him on the ropes, pushing him with his elbow, pushing through him, just trying to keep him on the ropes. Now, this is something, I don't think it's specific to Ray Arcel, but this is something you should pay attention, is how early he starts getting ready to go in the ring, right? He's a guy that used to comb Duran's hair with a comb to make him look fresh every round. 10 seconds. Watch Ray Arcel right here. Looks over. I think he hears the double tap. Or the 3 pop, pop, pop. Starts getting on the stairs. And he's ready to get in the ring. Right when the bell rings, he's in there. Watch. Before Duran could get back in his corner, Arcel already has a stool. Look, he's already in the ring almost by the time Duran gets to his corner. Now, something else that Ray Arcel, I'm just pointing this out because I find this very interesting. Ray Arcel always picked up Duran, or most of the fights I've seen them together, he picked him up so he wouldn't use his legs, and he kind of launched him in there like a tiger. After he combed his hair and gave him water, he launches him in there. Duran doesn't have to spend energy getting off the stool. It's the little things. And you see how patient Duran is? He waits for the right moment to attack. He's not just recklessly attacking. And you see how he gets away. Now Leonard is fast, but look at Duran. Very good reflexes. I think that might have landed, but very good reflexes. I think he might have gotten away from that left hook. I'm not too sure. Video's a little bit grainy, but still pretty good quality. There's that signature Duran, low left hand, feinting with it, moving his feet forward, standing upright a little bit with his right hand right above, right beside his face. So he seems to be doing this move a lot, which is the feints. Dip down, coming in from the right side, throwing the right hand, stepping over. Step over with that right hand. And then here he either comes in with the left hand or he's going to go in for like a hug to kind of close the distance again to work his way in. So that's kind of how he works his way in. He throws that right hand, already talked about this, steps forward, and then hugs Leonard to get him on the rope so he could start working the inside. But Leonard kind of times him a little bit better with that left hook right there. Let's see if he works his way out. So he's not accepting the clinch, he's working his hands out. Now he puts his body weight on you. He's not like he's putting weight on Leonard. Even when Leonard is holding his hands, he's still walking through him with his feet. There he goes with the inside. There's that fast reaction from Duran. There's that right hand. Okay, there's those feints with the jab. Classic Duran. Right hand high up beside his head, ready to be thrown, but it's up there. So look how. Okay, look right here. Here he's kind of more relaxed. He's going to get in attack mode right now. And this is when you see him in this mode right now that he's about to go in, that's when you really know he's about to attack. Watch right here. His right hand comes up beside his ear. His left hand gets low and he starts feinting with it. Feint, feint, boom. He has that right hand ready. I'm not sure if that one landed. Let's watch it again. Looked like it could have landed. It could have not landed. Everybody stood up. Maybe it landed. I don't have the volume up. Looks like Leonard kind of tried to get away from that one. So I won't say it landed 100% sure, but based on the crowd's reaction, it looked like it did land. But they could be wrong also. But you see how he puts his right hand up beside his face and drops his left hand and gets ready to start feinting and moving forward. There's those body shots that left, the right uppercuts to the body. Leonard trying to shoot a shoe shine, but I don't think that's going to work on Duran. Duran's just in the zone right now. Right uppercut to the body. Now, how Leonard is tying up Duran, that's how I like to tie people up, is get their glove in between right there and hold them and kind of bend the legs. Sometimes you could pull them down with you. It's a little bit dirty, but it works. "25 seconds left. Watch Duran's corner again. Watch Ray Arcel get in the ring. Look, he's creeping up. He's creeping up the stairs right now, or the steps to the ring right now. Look, he's almost at the ropes. 4 seconds left. And the stool is there for Duran before he even gets to his corner, whispering something in his ear, lifting him off, launching him into the next round. And Duran kind of stood. He knew how to lean back, but when he boxed a lot, he put his weight on the front foot like this, and that's when he could counter or throw the right hand or jab from here. So he would jab leaning forward. Now, I wouldn't advise this, but this is something that he was good at. A lot of fighters do this, leaning forward, sticking out his jab. He's ready to move his head too, has that right hand up. And there goes that jab hook. So you see how he keeps that left hand loose? He goes in for that fake jab, left hook. And the left hook isn't really a punch. It's just to make Leonard kind of stop. It's to be like, hey, come over here so I could feed you this right hand. But Leonard's smart too, so it doesn't happen like the way Duran wants it to happen. There's that big left hook again to get Leonard to stay on the inside and not move to the right. See that right hand is up, the left hand is faking. He has weight on his left foot, ready to attack. If you don't remember, I said I'm not focusing on what Leonard is doing in this fight. I'm just focusing on what Duran is doing. There's that quick reaction time from Duran. Right hand up, left hand low, like what I've been talking about. Sees that body shot coming, blocks it right there. Looks like it might have slipped through. Comes back with his own right hand. Below the belt, I believe. Looks a little bit low. I didn't look at it for too long, but it looked a little bit low. Could be wrong. See that right hand is up. Now, we saw him throw that right hand. Like I said, when he gets in that mode, he's ready to attack or he's ready to counter or do something. Watch. He's going to get out of that clinch. Right hand's going to go up. It's like his left hand hits his right hand. It's like, get back up there. His right hand is up by his ears. His left hand is low. Now he's sticking it out, and just watch how that right hand is right there ready to be thrown. Now we've seen him throw it while he stepped through. Fake. Boom, uppercut. Let's watch this again. Boom, uppercut, left hook. See how he feinted the first 2 punches again? Look how many punches he's going to fake from here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7. About 6 feints before he threw those real uppercut and left hook. There's that beautiful right uppercut to the body. But I will keep giving Leonard credit throughout the study, just because he was keeping up with an animal like Duran, and he didn't really use his feet as much. Maybe this fight isn't the best for inside fighting to study because Leonard is really good at tying him up. But Duran is still getting in his body punches, but there's a nice one with the uppercut left hook. With other fights, you can see Duran kind of working on the inside a little bit more, or a lot more, just because this one Leonard is very good at tying him up, like I said. He's not able to get the body shots that he wants. Dude, that was nice, but I gotta stop this and go. Boom. There's that right uppercut that we saw over and over again from Duran. There was those fake jab, and then right uppercut to the body. And like I said, I could have chosen, and that's it for this round. I could have chosen an easier fight of Duran's where he had an easy performance to say, but I wanted to show this one just to really show what he was made of, or like what his main points are and how he fought at his best, so I could point it out in the video. There are other things that he's not doing in this fight, like that roll under right uppercut to the body, but that's just because Leonard's such a great fighter. But expect a different type of lesson, that same type of lesson that I've been putting out. Then I have to watch this whole fight and then write my notes and then make the video on how to fight like Duran. Okay guys, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Have a great day, and bye.